So, Juan, tell us, how did you nearly die?
Um, so when I was 18 months, I had 3 strokes. They actually didn't know if I was going to survive the 3 strokes. I think it was tougher for my parents. I didn't know what was going on at the time, obviously. But I didn't have a huge life expectancy. I was told that I would die at 15 years old, which is difficult.
What was it like feeling that you were going to die at 15? Like, did you have like a bucket list or things you wanted to do before that?
I actually didn't know until I was 18. I went to the doctors and they said, you were meant to die at 15, which to me at the time I didn't take seriously. For me it was like, oh, I've cheated the system. But I think after that I sort of started to think about everything that had happened, and I regretted not taking the chances back then, so I'm doing that now.
Okay, so having everything that's happened to you happen today, how far you've come, what is it today that makes you want to get up out of bed? So what keeps you going?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's my family more than anything. I think it's just giving back to them everything they've given to me. My auntie, my sister, my parents, who have sacrificed a lot for me. A lot of my mum's time was sacrificed. She couldn't work to look after me, so I think that for me has been the biggest eye awakener and eye opener for me.
What is one everyday activity that other people may find extremely easy to do, but for you with your condition, you actually struggle a lot with it?
I think everyday activity is a struggle. Walking, running. Depending on the day, some days are easier, some days are tougher. But I just get on with it, honestly. I might have pain, I might not have pain, but at the back of my mind I know that I'm a little bit slower from day to day. And yeah, it's tough, but I sort of try and get on with it and show people that I can still do my job, I still do what I can and get on with it.
What was the condition that you suffered with?
So at the time, no one knew what had happened with my condition, but they found out I had glutaric aciduria type 2, which means I can't break down protein and I can't eat a lot of protein. And the other one is dystonia, which was what caused the paralysis when I was younger. It means the whole of my right side is weaker than my left.
What was the hardest part of your recovery?
I think out of everything that I've been through, I had an operation in 2006 even, and I had a hip replacement because it was very sore and I couldn't walk at all. Apparently I was crying agony. But after that, learning to walk again, I think that for me was the toughest part of my recovery. It took me 8 years to get off crutches, but after that point I was like, you know what, if I don't get off them now, I never will. And I think for me, that was the toughest time of my life.
Okay, so having now that you're recovered, what tasks do you wish you were able to do that today you just feel like you can't? What do you wish you could be able to complete?
So I used to be able to cycle when I was a kid. Now I can't. I struggle with that. And I think for me, that's a challenge that I have, but I don't know sort of when I'm going to get around to learning to ride the bike again. But that's definitely on the bucket list that I have.
Aside from beating that 15-year supposedly impossible milestone, what is your greatest achievement?
Oh, I'd say writing my book in 2016, getting it published, knowing that I could do it. Even though I'm not proud of the book as much anymore, I'd say it's my proudest achievement to know that I've done it and that I could do it at the time. I think that for me is a huge milestone.
Knowing that you come this far,
when you look back, was there any points where during your suffering that you wanted to commit suicide?
I wouldn't say I've ever wanted to commit suicide. I would say I've struggled, and there was points where I wanted to quit, just carrying on and sort of living a normal life. But to commit suicide, never. Those thoughts never entered my mind. I've been depressed, but never commit suicide. Never to that point.
How did you battle with the depression? What was it like, and then how do you find ways to overcome it?
I think at the time, I didn't realise I was going through depression, but I was eating a lot more junk food. I was eating for the fun of eating. And I would always be alone at uni, at college, just so I wouldn't be a burden. Which now that I'm looking back, I sort of see it as being alone, being sad. To overcome it, I don't think I have fully overcome it yet, but I'm getting there. I'm training, I'm going gym, I'm boxing, and that has definitely helped me be a lot happier than what I've been in the past.
When you were younger, did you have like a dream goal, like a dream job, something you wanted to do?
I think every boy's dream is to be a footballer, and that used to be mine. I used to be a big Man U fan, but obviously with my condition, no one sort of supported that dream. So then I said, let me be a policeman again. Same issue. Basketball player, same issue. And then I said, let me go into business. But I think the business part of it was just to be rich. Not even just for the business, it's just to be rich. So dream job, not really. I think I had dreams, but not a dream job.
So assessing your dream job, or whether you didn't know what one you wanted, looking forward, where do you want to be and who do you want to be in that location?
So now I think I've got a clear view of what I want to be. I want to be a motivational speaker, sort of help people live their dreams and sort of not give up. Just because I've been through it, and I know that if I've been through it, they can. So for me, it's more about knowing that any role that I go into is just to help people. Not about the money, not about anything else, but just to help people.
And at this point in time, given everything that's happened, what is your favorite activity?
Favorite activity? Boxing. It's something that's helped me relax. It's helped me keep a calm mind, and it's definitely helped me find motivation again after such a long time.
So for people who are having certain challenges, maybe similar to yours, or feeling like they want to give up, what vote of confidence could you give to them?
I can't say it gets easier, and I can't say it gets harder. What I can say is just keep going. I've struggled through 30 years of my life. Paralysis, learning to walk, learning to drive. It's all been a challenge, but I've gotten there. You just got to keep going, keep doing the hard work, and trust me, it'll be worth it.
What kind of car do you have to drive? Is there any special type of car, or is it just a...
So my car is adapted. It's just got a left foot accelerator. That's what it is. There's various types. There's a twin flip, or there's a additional pedal that you can get.
Okay. Do you have a dream car that you want to get that can have all those features on it?
Dream car? Not really. I think a Nissan Navara. This has always been my dream car since I was little, which is just a little pickup truck.
In your house, what kind of changes have been made to help you,
Is my house adapted? No, none in my house at all. I live a normal life, a normal house. I did have to use special cutlery at one time, but now everything in my house is pretty much standard.
With getting to places like on public transport such as buses or trains, do you find that it's very difficult if the trains or buses get quite crowded? Do you find that sometimes people aren't always quite mindful or considerate, or do you find it more or less just comfortable to be around?
I used to, but I think what I found more challenging was when people used to try and force me to sit down, and I didn't want to. I think people taking no as an answer for that was very difficult for them. So they'd see me on crutches, whatever, and I'd say, I'm okay, I don't want to sit down, I'm fine. But they'd force me to, and I think that was my main concern, my main struggle on public transport.
And how long did it take you to learn how to drive?
It took me a few years. I learned in an adapted car anyway. But I think with everything that I had to learn and sort of with the adapted aspect, it was a little bit more difficult. The U-turns I did quite easily. Turning around the bends I did quite easily. But I think it was just learning all the signs more than anything that I struggled with.
Are you in a relationship?
I'm not.
Do you feel like there's any challenges that you have trying to get into a relationship, going through what you had to go through?
I think with that, for me, it's more of a, I don't want people to be with me out of pity. And I don't want people to sort of see me as someone they have to look after. So for me right now, I'm sort of working on myself and sort of just seeing what I can do before I commit to someone.
And when you say working on yourself, what does that involve?
I want to see what I can do. I'm excited to see what my journey has in plan for me, what I've got in store with the podcast, with my chats, with multiple projects I've got ahead. I want to see what I can do and sort of what I can bring to the table. I want to see what I can do physically, both athletically and just for me. So I want to see what I can do before anything else.
When was your last relationship?
Oof, 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
7 years ago.
And why did that break up?
It was toxic. It was a toxic relationship. She had a son that I did love a lot, but I thought it would be best for me to leave that situation, leave the kid, just because it was a toxic relationship. She didn't trust me, I didn't trust her. We had a friend in common and it sort of boiled over from there.
And how long was you living in this toxic relationship?
About 6 months.
And what made you stay in that for a long period of time?
The kid. I thought it was better for the kid to have at least a stepdad around, have some sort of financial support, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I spent about £800 in a month on the kid, on clothes. And yeah, I just couldn't do it anymore. There was no gratitude. Nothing there.
So do you feel like you put her and child's welfare and well-being before your own?
Not necessarily. I think I put the child first every time. Her, not really. I think for me it was just more about the kid, more about his happiness and sort of making sure he had someone around to be there for him.
So do you still miss him?
I think I've learnt to live without him, but I still do think about him from day to day.
You said that obviously you would be supporting financially, so in regards to your condition, what job do you do?
So I work in retail at the minute. I do a bit of everything, stacking shelves, tills, putting out cages, which yes is a physical demanding job, but for me I love it just because it is that physical. I don't see challenges as challenges. I see it just as everyday life.
So do you enjoy the fact that it's not partial, like no one treats you partially, you're getting the same treatment as if it would be for anyone else? So you like your job because no one thinks you're incapable of it?
In a way, yeah. I think there's a lot of negatives around retail, but to the equality, I think it's a fair job. I think they don't treat me any different.
Has your condition ever caused you problems with customers in your retail shop?
Not so much with customers. It's comments that really get to me. So I've had people say, "Are you crippled?" To my face. They don't know what's going on. I've had people ask to pro my leg at work, which obviously is very time consuming when it's a busy store. So I've had those sort of situations happen, but as much with the customers, not really.
So what did you say? You said you had people done what with your leg? Wanted to do what?
Pray.
Wanted to pray. Pray.
Yeah, pray. Just pray.
Cream.
Pray.
Oh, pray.
Pray.
Oh, pray over your leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you take that?
I sort of just let them. It's easier to let them and let them leave as soon as possible, rather than to argue with them.
So who are those people?
Religious people. I don't know what religion they are, but they believe that if they pray over your leg or they put holy water on it, it'll be healed. It just doesn't work. It's not the first time it's happened. It's not going to be the last. I just let them do what they need to do and leave.
Where were they getting this holy water from?
From the church. There's a church next to my job, so probably from there. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Is there any cure or anything?
Doctors don't know. I am one of 100,000 people that have the condition. So it's a very rare condition. No one knows if there's a cure for it. No one knows if it's going to be passed on to my kids. No one knows anything.
If there was a cure, would you just like snap and take it, or would you hold back? Because this is your norm. This is the way you've been for so long. It's like almost a part of you now.
I don't think I would. As much as I would love to say I would love to be normal, I feel like this is my norm, but also I can help a lot of people with my condition. I can help a lot of people with other conditions to sort of come out on top and be like, look, this is who I am, this is what I've done, and if I can do it, then you sure can.
So do you plan on starting a family? Like having family of your own?
I want to. I don't know when. I used to say I wanted 6 kids, which is a lot now. But yeah, hopefully one day.
Do all your sexual organs still work?
They do. And this is another thing that people don't realise. People constantly are like, does it work? Does it stand? I'm like, yeah, I'm still normal. I'm still active, but people don't realise that. People don't know what my condition is.
Do you ever doubt anything looking ahead, or do you ever lose motivation on dreams or goals that you wish you could do, but instead find a lack of motivation to accomplish them, or too many roadblocks ahead?
So it's not a lack of motivation. I've hit my first roadblock recently with boxing. I was told that I couldn't box because one wrong hit and I could die from bleeding to the brain, which means that they won't be able to stop it at all. So technically I'll be a vegetable. That was my first roadblock, but I've got to come back fully coming. I'm hoping to start running 5Ks, 10Ks, and then a marathon, which I'm training for. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it and just trying not to lose any motivation.
What is it that keeps your motivation high?
Probably my community. My community is very supportive. So I'm part of the Latin community, and for the past 3 years I've been sort of growing in that community, and they've been so supportive that if I was to quit now, I'd feel like I've let them down. So for me, it's just keeping up.
Speak Spanish?
Yeah. Hola.
Buenas tardes.
¿De dónde es?
Hablo español.
Sí, sí, ¿de dónde eres?
De Madrid, España.
Ah, ok.
¿Y usted?
Colombia.
Ah. ¿Y usted vino nació en Colombia y vino para acá?
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you for your answers.
I love that.
And yeah, man. Any last words of promotion for people to inspire others? One line to sign out this episode that will inspire others.
I'll give you one advice that I got given, and it's you have nothing to complain about as long as you've got all your limbs and your health. And I think that for me, it inspired me and it woke me up from what I was feeling beforehand. And for me, it's I've got all my limbs, I can do anything, so I really have nothing to complain about.